Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Chima Olive. On today's tutorial, we will learn how to cut a jumpsuit, a palazzo jumpsuit. So as you can see on my table here, I have my fabric on fold. This is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial. It's a crepe material. So I already placed my material, my fabric on fold. So please, if today is your first time of coming into my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button so that you will get notified whenever I upload new videos. So, so without wasting much of our time, let's get started. So we'll be cutting today's tutorial is all about palazzo jumpsuit. So, but first of all, I'll be cutting the down part, that's the trouser part of it. So later on we'll go ahead and cut the top, and the top part is going to be a, a wrap top, so stay tuned, keep watching. So the measurement I'll be working on today for the down part, and I have my thigh measurement, that's the lap, the hip measurement, then I have my crouch, the waist measurement, knee measurement, and the full pant length. That's the full length of the palazzo, of the jumpsuit. So as you can see, my fabric is on fold. How I got this folding is I I divide I use the fullest part of the measurement, which is the lap, because you know palazzo is always free, it's very free. So, and she wanted it very free. So I divide the lap, the circumference, by 2. We divide by 2. Then I went ahead to add extra 3 inch of allowance. So the lap measurement is 30 inches. 30 divided by 2, I have 15 inches. So this is 15 plus extra 3 inches of allowance. So what we'll do first of all right now is to mark out our horizontal measurement. So I will start by here. So I will start by marking out uh, my jumpsuit length. Remember, when cutting jumpsuit, okay, I think I will do that when we are cutting the top part. So my shoulder to waist measurement, you know, jumpsuit is all about joining the pants plus the top. So when you join them together, it becomes jumpsuit. Just like joining the skirt part and the top part to become a dress or a gown. So but here we are joining the pants, which is the trouser, and the top to become jumpsuit. So now my shoulder to waist measurement is 17 inches. So I will I want to mark out my full jumpsuit length. The length is 63 inches. She's very tall. It's 63. So after marking out 63, I will go ahead and add extra 1 inch of folding allowance. So here I will be on this part here. This is my starting point. I'll be minusing 17 inches. So this is my 17. I will place it this way. I will not place exactly 17 on this starting point. I will place it on 16 and a half. As you can see here, this is my 16 and a half, then this is my 17 inches. The reason for this, because I'll be using half inch for joining. So by the time I will join, I will be on this 17 inches. So here I will place it this way. I will go ahead and measure my 63 inches plus extra 1 inch of folding allowance, making 64 inches. So I will mark it out right now. I have here 60. You know, the tape stops at 60. So I'll go ahead and add extra 4 inches. So I'm marking out, this is the 64 inches. Okay, so I'm done marking out the length of the jumpsuit. So what I will do next, I will go ahead and get my crouch my crotch depth. So here, from my from this my waist, this is the upper waistline. So I'll go ahead and measure my normal waist, the actual waist. Oh, sorry about that. My chalk got broken. So I'll go ahead and cut out my actual waist. That is on the navel part. Remember, 17 inches is for the upper waist. So I'll go ahead and mark out the normal. It's always 2 inches. The difference between the actual waist, that's the navel part, and the upper waist measurement is always 2 inches. So here is this is my waistline. So the actual waistline is here is 2 inches. 17 plus 2 inches making 19 inches. So here I will mark out this is for the navel part of the waist. So I'll go ahead and connect the line. Sorry, my fabric is a crepey fabric. It's shaking. So you have to work with careful because of the nature of the fabric. Okay, now so on this point now, I'll be marking out my crouch length. So how to get my crouch length? I divide my hip by 4, then whatever I have is my crouch length. Then the hip measurement I'll be working on is 44. So 44 divided by 4 is 11 inches. So if you divide by 2, have 22. 22 divided by 2, have 11 inches. So here I will place it this way and mark out my 11 inches from this actual waist measurement. Remember, this is a jumpsuit. So I'll connect it this way. Like I said, the material is crepey. Okay, so this will serve as my crouch length. Then my knee length, the knee length I'll be working on is knee length of 24 inches. So from this place, I'll be marking out my 24 inches. So here, I'll place my tape here. I'll mark out the knee length, which is 24 inches. So here I have my knee length. Okay, so on this waistline, I'll be marking out my hip measurement, and my hip measurement is 11 because 11 you divide by 4. 11 divided by 4, I'll have 11 inches. So I will mark out 11 inches this way. I will also mark it here, my hip measurement, 11 inches. So I want to get my crouch line. I'll connect it this way. Okay, so from this point now, from this my hip line where I want to get my crouch length, I'll be I'll be measuring out my waist measurement. So my waist measurement is, I have the waist measurement of 34 inches. Sorry, this is a jumpsuit. We have waist measurement of 32 inches. So because it's a jumpsuit and they will be joining from the upper waist, is 32 inches. So 32 divided by 4, I have 8. So this from here, I'll be marking out my waist measurement. So here, this is my 8 inches for the 32 inches. So I'll go ahead and add extra 1 inch for my that for sewing and that allowance. So this is 1 inch here. So I'll go ahead and with my hip hole, I'll connect it. So I'll go ahead and connect it this way to the hip. So this is what I have here now. So on this my crotch line now, I'll be inputting my thigh measurement. Remember I said the thigh measurement, that's the lap. How free it is 30 inches. So 30 divided by 2 will be divided by 2. This is will have 15 inch. So this is my 15 inches. I'll go ahead and add extra 1 inch. This is it here. So here to get my crouch, my curve, I'll come up by 2 inch here on this line. So I will connect. If you are using a French curve, you can use your French curve to connect it. Or if you are using a free hand, you can measure here like 1 inch, can come in or come out by 1 inch, then you connect. My material is shaking, so I have to use this. So here, because it's a palazzo, I didn't add my hip measurement, or if not, you can go ahead and add your hip line, but because it's a, I didn't add it. So this is what I have here now. You can see these are waist measurement. This is the thigh, the lap measurement. So how to get here the down part, or how free, or how, if you want, like, now the markings are almost done. So if you want your palazzo to be big, so big, like very big, you can connect from here. We have here, we'll have a 16 inches. Remember 15, I added extra one. So you can mark it straight down. Measure here. You can mark it depending on how free you want to get. So what I will do right now, I will go ahead and mark it down because she actually wants it free. So here I have 16 here, so I'll go ahead and mark it down. So I'll connect. See, this is what I have here. So I'll cut here straight. But if you don't want it to be maybe too free, so what you do next, you can decide to reduce it. So you measure here. Okay, let's say the actual, or you can put your hip measurement. You can decide to, the actual measurement is 15. You divide by 2, which is 7.5. You mark your 7.5 down. That is if you don't want, if you want to reduce it. So when you finish getting the midpoint, you can decide to put the number of, like, how many inch wideness you want. But this tutorial, you want it a bit free. So, but I think I have to reduce it a bit, because remember we'll still be adding some extra allowance at the back. So let me quickly reduce it here by half an inch. So I'll come in here. I'll come in by half an inch. I'm trying to be careful with this fabric It's a little bit shaky. So okay, so now what is left for us to do now is to input our dart measurement. So from here, I'll be using my bust span for that, or you can as well divide the total whatever you have here. I have 9 inches here, or you can decide to measure it by 2 to give you 4.5, or you can use your bust span. So I have 4.5 here. So from here as well, I'll mark 4.5 for my dart. Then here I'll be marking out 5 inches. I'll be marking out 5 inches, or you can mark 6 inches depending on the length. So here I'll half inch on both sides. I won't be cutting this part. So when I'm sewing, I will do the needful, but I just want to show you guys. This one is for the dart. So as you can see, my fabric is really shaking. I'm trying to be careful. So the next thing I will do right now is to add my pocket. I'll be adding pocket to this tutorial. So here I'll, from this actual measurement here, I'll come in by 2 inches here. So here, then from this place, I'll measure 7 inch or 7.5. I use my 7.5. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. It's very easy and simple. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so like I was saying, if you want, so we are done with the cutting. This is my dart, this is for the waist. Then here I added my crouch, on this crouch line I added my thigh measurement. So I was saying earlier on that if you don't want this part to be that too big, so you can you can reduce it to the the amount of like free you the circumference you want. So what I will do, like I was saying earlier on, you measure what you have here. Here I have 16 inches. So 16 divided by 2, it will give me, sorry, from here, remember we have our the tile measurement is 30 inches. So 30, I went ahead to add 1 inch of ease. So 30 divided by 2 is 15, plus extra one, that is 16. So 16 by 2 will give us 8 inches. So you get the midpoint, which is 8 inches. 16 by 2, 8 inches. So you mark it, you mark the 8 inches here. Down, you mark it straight. I want to, like, if you want to reduce the size of the palazzo, that's what I'm doing right now. So I'll go ahead and mark. I decided to reduce it a bit because the way I'm looking at it, is going to be too big. So I want to reduce the down part a bit. From the knee part, I want to reduce it. So I'll go ahead and measure the midpoint, that is 8 inches. So that is the midpoint of the total inches we got here. I have 16. So 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. So I'll make I'll make a line, a straight line. Remember I said if you want it so big, you can just cut. You can see the marking. You cut it straight here from whatever you got here. But I wanted to leave it that way, but later I decided to shaping it a bit. So what that's the reason I'm doing this markings. So you measure whatever you have here, you get the midpoint, you mark it down to the hemline. Then you decide on how the circumference you want it. So this time around, I want it to be 24 inches instead of the 30, like cutting straight. So what I will do right now, 24 inches divided by 2, it will give me 12 inches. So that is where this midpoint is necessary. So that 12 inches divided by 2 will give us 6 inches. 6 by 6, 6 times 6 plus 6 is 12 inches. So you go ahead and mark out your 12 inches here from this part. For the knee part now, I'll be marking out 6 here. You can do it from the down part or you can do it from the knee part. So here I will mark my 6 inches. I've divided the 24 by 2. It will give me 12. So that 12, I also divide it by 2 for this because of this center part. So here now, the hemline, I'll be marking out my 6 inches here and my 6 inches. So I'll go ahead and connect it this way. You can see the new lines I have here. This one is if you want it straight. You want it to cut it straight, you can do it straight. If you want to reduce the pants, the palazzo, and you want to reduce the size of it, then you divide it. So I'll go ahead and mark. I hope you guys are not confused with what I did now. So I'll connect this here. So this is the new. I'll be cutting this one instead of the straight one. But if you want yours, you can cut it straight. If you want it that straight and big and flowing, you can mark it straight. But I decided to reduce mine, so that's why I reduced it to 24 inches instead of the 30 inches. So now we are done with this, the markings. Like I said here, this 2 inches is for my pocket. So here, this line is for the pocket line. This is the actual waist measurement plus extra 1 inch for the dart. So, and the pocket length is 7. I use 7.5. So let me cut it out right now. You can see the one I'm cutting, my second line. I decided to reduce it. So if you want yours straight, you can cut it depending on your choice. Sorry guys, I'm being very careful with this. It's a crepey material, it's shaking. Okay guys, you're welcome back. I'm done cutting out the front part. I've even folded my fabric. I've folded my fabric so that we'll be able to cut the back panel. So this is for the front. I've cut it out already. This my material is very shaky. It's a crepey material, so I'm being careful with it. Okay, so now as you can see here, I added some allowance here. There are some allowance. You can see I didn't place it exact, so because we'll be doing some markings here. So what is next to do right now, on this waistline, I will raise it up. For the back, we normally raise it up, so I will raise it up by 1.5. I'll be raising mine up by 1.5. You can decide to raise yours 2 inches or 1 inch, but I'm raising it 1.5. So here now I'll mark out my, this is my 1.5. I'll connect it to this place on this crouch line here. We'll raise it up by 1.5. Then I'll go ahead and connect it to this waist side line. So this is it. So on this waistline as well, here I'll be adding extra 1 inch of allowance here. So I'll go ahead and connect it to this crouch line with my hip cuff, or with your free hand. Go ahead and connect it this 1 inch. So now on this crouch line here, this crouch line, I will come down by half an inch like this, so that I'll be able to make my crouch for the back. You can decide to leave it, it's optional, but I do like coming down, then you slant it like this by half an inch. So here now I'll be adding my here, okay, and then from here I'll be adding my zipper allowance. So I'll be using 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance. So here I'll measure out my 1.5 inch for the zipper allowance. So I'm using 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance. So here I'll be using 8 inches. So let me cross check. Yeah, 8 inches. Okay. So I'll connect from here to this place. So this one will serve as my zipper allowance, 1.5 inch. So the next thing I will do right now is I will extend this crouch line by 2 inches. So I'll mark out my 2 inches. Then this part I will mark out 1 inch down. Here I won't be adding any allowance at this side. I will only add here 1 inch, here 2 inches, and this part is 1 inches. So I'm marking out my 1 inch of allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect it. I extended the crouch back length by 2 inch. Then on this side, I added 1 inches. Okay, I'll be cutting like that. Here, I won't be adding any allowance. I only added 1 inch allowance on this part. So we'll go right now and cut it out. So I extended by 1.5. This is 1.5 extension, and this is my zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. Here I'll go this way, then the crouch, then down, as well as this place I'll cut on this line, this 1 inch of allowance here. So this is what I'm doing. So this is my zipper allowance. So I'm cutting the back. This is the side, the buttock side. My material is shaky, is preppy. So guys, so I don't cutting the back, so you can put the back dart as well. So for the back dart, you measure from here, from this place to this place. So whatever you have here, you divide by 2 as well. So you mark your dart. So it's the same. So when I'm sewing, I'll do that like I show us in the for the front part. So the same way you add your back dart as well. Okay guys, so this is it for this tutorial, this part. Okay, let me go ahead and cut out the pocket because like I said, I'll be adding pockets here. So you can see I marked 7.5 and here I went in by 2 inches. From this I went in by 2 inches, and from here I marked my, you can use 7 inch or 7.5, but I use 7 from this waistline. So I have my 7.5. You can go ahead and make a curve, pocket curve, but me I like sewing it first. When I sew before I cut it out, you can go ahead and make this curve. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing here. See, you can make a pocket curve, but me I normally sew before cutting it out. Is the same thing. So here, this is for the pocket, you understand? So you can decide to cut it, or you can decide to finish attaching sewing before cutting. So let me quickly cut the pocket before we proceed to the top part of this tutorial. So to cut the pocket, I'll be folding my fabric 8-inch on fold. I'll be 8 inch and 14 inches length. Okay guys, you can see I've cut out my pocket. This is what I have here. I have 2 pieces of pockets folded by 2. Here I have 8 inches on fold, then the length is 14 inches. See, 14 inches and 8 inches on fold. So this will serve as our pocket. So this is our pocket. The next thing I will do right now is to make a curve here. I'll just curve it to give that pocket shape. So you curve it this way. See, so I'll show us on how to sew it. So when sewing, I won't be cutting it. So by the time I'll be sewing, I'll show us on how to do that. You can decide to cut it out. You can decide to trim it. But when I'm sewing, I'll show us on how to do that. So let's quickly cut the top. So the top part of this our jumpsuit will be a wrap top.